One more bite of pizza.
I can't do it.
Crazy bread.
One more bite. Pizza.
Crispy.
Crazy bread.
Little Caesar's hot and ready pizza with
A Coca-Cola.
Crazy bread.
crisp bread.
Nobody mentioned pepperoni.
Postman.
Lovers.
I thought that was a Pizza Hut thing. Meat lovers. Oh,
Is it?
is it?
Yep.
I think it's
Why?
like a trademark.
Why can't anybody else be a lover of meat?
No, you can be a lover of meat. You just can't have a meat lover's pizza anywhere else.
Like,
Why?
You got
I've
meat on
seen,
the
like,
pizza.
The butcher shop.
Yeah.
And the Heart Stopper was a good.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Heartstopper.
Yeah.
What's the one at
I don't even know what that is, and I want it.
It has
what's the one
pepperoni, ground beef, ham, sausage, and one or two other meats. It's called the Heart Stopper.
No, there's the one that's down in it's in Atlanta called Pie in the Sky. It's called the Carnivore, because their pizzas, their small pizza is like
Man versus food.
what
I
is
saw
it,
him tackle that.
Their small pizza is a large pizza.
Yeah.
Their largest pizza is how big is it?
It's
Like
at least as big as it's like big as this
36
table.
something inches or something like that. It's a massive pizza.
Yeah, it's a mess.
The carnivore challenge was it's the largest size pizza, and it has 5 pounds of meat on it. And we're talking pepperoni, sausage, beef.
Is this like legitimate? 5
This
pounds?
is legitimate, and you have to eat the whole thing in an hour. And if you do,
You have to
eat it for
eat
free.
a 5-pound pizza.
Well, you can have a friend. It can be you eating half and a friend eating another half. But you get 1 hour to do it, and if you get it, I think it was at $200.
Something like that, and picture on the wall.
Yeah.
Pizza's free, I think, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but if you don't,
Doesn't seem like that would cover
But
the
if you
medical
don't-
bills.
It's
if
like,
you
not.
don't eat it, you have to pay for it.
it's like a $100 pizza.
It's expensive.
And it's a
And I've-
$100 pizza.
I've been to this place because
So you're betting with your health either way.
Yeah. Me, my friend Adam Bowman,
I want it.
his wife, and a couple of us. We actually went to that pizza place. It's down.
Wait,
in,
that's local?
it's in Marietta.
Yeah, it's in
Okay.
Atlanta.
And,
So
it's about a little over.
so
an hour
really, I
drive.
would win back my money for the pizza and the gas.
easily.
It won't pay for your
Easily.
medical bills, but
No. So if I get a heart attack because my heart stops
Yeah.
on the way back,
you can look up.
You have insurance, right?
I do.
I mean, that's honestly not the worst
Insurance
you could
isn't
do.
what it used to be,
That's honestly. Have you ever watched Man vs. Food?
huh?
Have you ever watched Man vs. Food?
I'm always versus food, so I don't need to watch
You need-
anything like that.
You need to watch that show.
Man versus Food. Even though I hear the guy's a jerk in real life, but it's a good show.
Yeah.
Was a good show.
He's a lot of lost the weight.
Well,
All his weight now too.
Mhm.
That's-
But like he goes to places, and if you think that's bad, that's nothing compared to other places. Like what was
The
it?
milkshake one was the worst.
oh
It was
yeah.
like, "Bleh."
What was it? Like 20 milkshakes, something like that?
Yeah, it was something ridiculous.
One was a lot of were really spicy places, and they use like ghost peppers in their sauces,
Uh-huh.
which that's the hottest pepper you can ever have.
And
And even he
chili.
gets like halfway through it, and he's like, "I'm done. I can't do this." And he usually pushes himself through a lot of it.
But anything over like 6 pounds of food, he could never finish.
So 6 pounds is his limit.
That was his limit. Yeah.
He
So
did.
you knew.
He almost
He's
did
a
the-
6-pounder.
He almost did the pizza one that's in the place in Atlanta. He almost did it because it was him and another guy that was helping him out.
Yep.
He was almost done. The other guy was taking a smoke break and threw up. And it's
So this guy versus that Nathan's hot dog champion little guy that was
Well, it's
like
not speed.
doing it for so many
it's not
years.
speed.
Who do you think would win in being able to consume the most food? Not in the shortest amount of time, but being able to consume the most food.
well,
Probably
now,
him because he
I
takes
don't-
his time.
Yeah.
I don't know about now though because he's lost like. a
Yeah,
lot
I mean
weight.
he's
yeah.
not what he used to be.
Well, it doesn't matter. You've seen that hot dog champion from
I
Nathan's,
think the
right?
hot
He's
dog
like,
champion.
I mean,
Yeah, no.
like I could kick his ass.
But yeah, you should try. You should just check out a couple episodes because some of those places, like the amount of food, like there was one that was a Texas place, like they gave you a massive steak. You had to eat the steak, the baked potato, all the bread they gave you, and the vegetables. You had to eat all of it.
Wow, you lost me at vegetables.
It's not much vegetable wise.
It's like
it's
one
a-
piece of
Sprig
broccoli.
of broccoli. Yeah.
It was a salad and like something else, but it's mainly the baked potato, the bread, and the steak. The steak is massive. I remember that. He did it.
Porterhouse.
It was. Was it a porterhouse?
It was like I want
It
to
was
say
a big damn steak.
Yeah, it was like 3. What was it? 3 pounds? 4 pounds? Like a ridiculously thick steak.
Wow.
I'll
I
pull-
thought me
whenever
eating
we
a
get
2.5
done-
pounder a month ago was ridiculous.
Whenever we get done tonight, I'll probably
That is.
quick
Don't get us wrong. That is pretty ridiculous.
It is. And I had no sides, though. But I was really excited about it because I'm from New York. You know, the meat market thing, you can go, but nobody has the freaking time for that.
Yeah.
You know, over here, there's like that Rusty's meat market.
Mm-hmm. Theirs is good.
And I didn't even go there. I didn't even get to. I still haven't gotten to go there. But Jessica's friend had went there to get steaks for us because I had the barbecue ready, and she said that she goes in there and she tells them what type of steak she wants. So she said porterhouse, and then they said how thick, and she says you tell them with your fingers. You go this thick. So she did that, and we got that thick of a porterhouse this big. That thick.
Rusty's is pretty awesome.
Wow.
And it took up my entire dinner plate. And I was like, well, I don't need any sides. I just want to eat. And I took one bite of it. I was like, okay, I'm just going to have like a little bit and then, save the rest for the rest of the month.
Yeah.
But after I took like a couple of bites from it, I was just like, oh my God, this is like the best steak I've ever had. I just kept eating and I didn't put any sides on the plate, and I finished the whole freaking steak. And when I was done, I felt like really guilty.
Yeah.
I felt really guilty, really heavy, but oh, so happy.
I've gone to Rusty's, but here lately I'll go up to Fresh Market up in Hamilton Place. And they have some amazing food. All theirs is kind of pre-cut, or they cut it there. But their butcher section, all that's really good. It's not as good as Rusty's, but it's still really good. Their chicken's amazing.
Chicken's good.
But I go there whenever I can.
Damn.
And their bacon is amazing.
That bacon
All right.
was good.
So let's start our show. Because I've been taping this whole conversation.
Hey, a lot of those gaming ones incorporate food. It's a lot of them that I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Podcast Beyond?
Because what do you do? when
Podcast
you're playing
Beyond doesn't
games?
mention
You
food that
shove
much.
food in your face.
Not
That's what
anymore.
Five Guys has mentioned.
I hear from time to time.
Bombcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Portillo's gets mentioned because Greg's from Chicago. And then you have Pachee's Pizza, the pizza place that you used to get. And then, was it San Francisco Soup Company or something like that? I think went out of business. Goldfarb used to frequent there. Something. I don't know. He's not on there anymore.
And there's them. There's every single one mentions. They're all
Bombcast,
talking about
like,
food
dedicates an hour
and
to
wrestling.
Yeah.
Occasionally,
Literally.
I realized that I cannot find a podcast. Not that I want them to not talk about wrestling, but I can't find a video game podcast that doesn't at least make a reference to wrestling
At some point.
very regularly.
Yeah.
Real quick, though. Please tell me you've had City Cafe.
City Cafe? No.
Oh, my God.
No. Where is this?
There's two locations. There's one in downtown Chattanooga and one in over. You know where McKay's is?
Not anymore.
Well,
I know where it
it's,
is.
it's down the road. It's literally just down the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's it's before the Ooltewah exit. It's the
Is that what replaced the Denny's that was in there? The City Cafes where the Denny's was?
that was
It's
the
part
Denny's
of
a
the
part of
hotel.
the hotel?
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
City Cafe is amazing.
Really?
They're open 24 hours.
Okay.
Hold on, I gotta write this down.
And they have lots of cake. Lots of cake.
You can order. They have a menu that's spiral bound. They will make generally
It's
any
like the
type of
Cheesecake
food.
Factory.
Yeah, they have Mexican food,
It's
Italian food,
Cheesecake
sandwiches, breakfast items.
As a New
anything.
Yorker, the term 24 hours is taken for
Yes.
granted
It is.
until you move here. And then you realize that there's nobody on the street the moment the sun goes down. It's like, well, where the hell did everybody go? And then everything closes shortly after, and it's like, well,
Yep.
I do that too
What
after
the fuck?
living in Columbus for like a year and a half. I'm like, what do you mean there's nothing to do? Like, we tried to go to the Walmart. I was like, what? Walmart isn't open 24 hours.
That
Really?
blew my
Walmart
mind.
was closed?
Well, the
Okay,
Lafette one.
yeah.
The Lafette one. That blew my mind.
But
that they
still.
were.
one of the things that excited me about moving here is that I was closer to Walmart, so I had more 24-hour stuff.
Now this
Nope.
place though,
It's a lie.
any items like I said, breakfast, Italian, American, steaks, burgers, sandwiches, Mexican, whatever, seafood. They make everything, and then they have a dessert section, and their dessert section is amazing. Just their standard slice of cake.
So is starting to sound like a plug.
Their standard slice of just regular cake is literally this tall.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You have
Well
to go
now.
try it. And like, there's that one that's over by McKay's, and then one that's downtown Chattanooga. Well, it's over by close to where the Reed House is.
I think it's on MLK, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. It's and both of them
right
are
off the highway.
inside like hotel motel sections.
Yep.
So it
But
seems
they're
a little sketchy at first, but it's so good.
Yeah, then when you try the food, you're like, oh my god! And every meal you have, it doesn't matter what you order, they give you an ass ton of food.
Oh yeah.
An ass ton.
An ass ton. I forget what ass ton was the equivalent
I
to.
just get
It's more than a shitload because a shitload could go inside an ass ton. We
Oh,
recall.
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just get a chicken breast. The chicken breast is like this big.
Yep.
Damn.
I mean, but it
That
seems
chicken's
more,
got some big
It
titties.
seems more natural because they like pound it down flat when they cook it. But yeah, it's like, and then like the rest of the plate is just fries.
It's
Wow.
amazing. You have to. I think we'll have to sometime, like if here soon.
After the tournament,
Smash Brother,
We're gonna go
either
to
tournament or
City Cafe.
Smash Brothers. The time we do the Smash Brothers stuff, we have to go to City Cafe. We have to.
Down.
That was the
All
first
right.
time. As soon
Let's
as
go
she
now.
moved down here, that
Fuck it.
first night we.
Just take the camera with us.
Yep.
I wish it actually kind of is because that laptop is portable.
Correct.
You know, so
First time
Yes,
she
it
moved,
is.
it's the first once she got moved down here that first night, me, her, and Adam and Jess, we all went to City Cafe that night. It's amazing.
okay. Hold on one second. Hey guys, welcome to the round table. I'm Amir,
I'm Brian.
I'm Jason.
I'm Allison.
and today we're talking about food and PlayStation Now. Let's go back to talking about food. City Cafe.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is there any
and
other
it's-
24-hour places? Or
Oh, of course you got your Waffle Houses and like IHOPs and stuff like that, but like
That's
actual,
only good. after
IHOP is
really
24
bad-
hours?
Yeah,
A lot of them are. I don't know if this one is.
I think all of them are.
Well, that's not like getting breakfast at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. No, it's
pretty
it's
awesome.
pretty nice. Yeah.
It is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Learned about using coffee filters for to wipe down glass, like clean glass, because there's any lint. So they have these big freaking coffee filters. So they would get one of the big coffee filters and they'd spray down with Windex and they'd use that so it didn't leave any lint on the windows.
We used to do it with newspapers when I worked in cell phone stores, and we had like those showcases. They would bring newspapers, and then they would say it works better than paper towels.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, whatever. You're just being cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It works better than paper towels. Way
That's the
better.
funny thing because where I work when I was working up as a front desk, we had this like they would buy this stuff called like rag in a box, and we would do the windows in it, and it's not like a paper towel or nothing. It's like industrial type rags do for that, and it still left streaks, and it had a couple. It wasn't as bad as paper towels, but it still left like the little paper trail.
Yeah, newspapers, man, are awesome. They're totally awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Seriously, PlayStation Now.
PlayStation Now.
So we started
What
talking
is that?
about it.
What are we doing here again?
PlayStation Now.
Because I'm awfully hungry
I
now.
always talk about food.
What do you mean
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
hungry? We just had like crazy bread.
They don't know that.
Crazy bread.
I just
And that new
pretzel pizza.
pretzel pizza
Oh my God.
at Little Caesars, hot and ready. And the best part about it is, again, back to the New Yorker thing, that I just go in there and I'm like, pretzel crust pizza. Here you go. Would you like a receipt? Nah. And I leave.
Without paying.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty
That's the other thing I love about it as a New Yorker is that I don't have to swipe my own card. I hand it to them and they swipe it for me.
Uh-huh. That's wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah.
Every place here is like
swipe
some
your
stuff
card.
that goes on here would not fly in New
I
York.
was so confused as to why the woman was taking my groceries from me and like bagging them for me. I'm like, why am I not even putting my
They
own
thank me profusely when I grab the bag and start packing my own
I
groceries.
was
And they're like,
so
oh my God, thank
confused.
you so much for doing that. I'm like, really? You guys are
But,
such
like,
a
the
courteous
first-
bunch in the
but-
South.
so
Nobody
the
does this
first
for
time I
you?
even like walked my shopping cart, not buggy, shopping cart.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you.
right.
I cringe when he says that.
Hey, because of that, you've gotten me to where I don't say it.
Good, because I do that. But, the first time, like, since they take your shopping cart and the items from you, like, the lines aren't straight. They're all, like, catty-cornered. I'm like,
Yes.
where am I going?
Yeah, and everybody online, like this is not the model for efficiency. Everybody online now has to wait for all of your food to be scanned for you to pay, and for you to just stand there like a moron while you watch them pack it up.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to wait while you just stand there looking at them bag it. Go and freaking bag it, just she could scan my food. The faster you bag, the more food she can scan.
But if you're just standing there,
Keep it moving.
yeah. But if you're just standing there, then you're more likely to grab a candy bar or a magazine,
You're already
or something
paid.
like that.
The
But
point of
it's
sale is over.
Well, no,
But
because
it's
it's
also
during the scanning. See, so you're not total
I'm
yet.
waiting there long
Why
enough to make that
obesity is such a
decision.
problem.
I already make that decision.
But it's also a part
I
of
don't
the
know
South.
how much bubble tape I bought.
But it's also part of the South because a lot of people like to socialize, even when they're standing there.
Yeah.
I
You're
miss
blatantly honest.
I don't.
scanning and bagging my own stuff at Kroger.
Now,
So
I have
bad.
to admit, when we go to the Kroger in Dalton, they're amazing. They're
Oh yeah, well,
fast as
it's
hell.
because they have that military infrared that they will automatically open a new lane if there's more than 3 people in line.
And they
True
also
fact.
whip their
That's how
employees.
they do it, pretty much.
Oh, right.
It is like it is like Jimmy, we need you up here right now. There's 5 people up here, like needing to check out.
That is pretty cool. I wish Costco did that. Anyway,
Never been to Costco.
really?
Well, we've walked in, but no.
You don't want to go there on a busy day.
Members only.
Members only. And it's still busy enough where you're like, I kind of wish he charged more for a membership so I wouldn't have to deal with all these people.
Oh, people.
I don't know. I've been grocery shopping at Fresh Market a lot more lately, and I'm in and out. As soon as I hit the cash register, I'm out. They never have lines.
Every
I
time
mean,
I'm in
if
Whole
I hit the
Foods,
cash register,
nuts.
they'd kick me out pretty fast too. Sorry.
Yeah. Speaking of loathing people, that's what PlayStation Now is for, right? If you
Right.
loathe people.
Right. It's basically a rental service that nobody will want to touch ever.
Right. Well, it's not because PlayStation Now is people. It's because, if you don't want to interact with anybody, you can just hop on your PlayStation console. Now we know it's coming to the PlayStation TV and the PlayStation Vita, right?
Mm-hmm.
In like 10 days. And it will...
Even less.
You'll
right?
be able
yeah,
to...
It's a week.
It's a
from
week.
now.
7. Okay,
Right,
so it's
the
so
14th.
it's in the next week.
The 14th.
Yeah.
We just found out today. And today's Tuesday, by the way, so this probably won't air until tomorrow, which is Wednesday for you. But yeah, so
Yeah, which is kind of neat that you can play. On your Vita, you can play the back catalog of PlayStation 3 games. So
is it?
yeah,
I don't. I mean,
on the go, portable.
The concept
it works.
is not really on the go or portable because you need Wi-Fi, and nobody's gonna be able to stream a game on 3G. So technically, even if you have it on the Vita, you'd have to download it to it, right?
But I'm
you
not
can't.
home, and I could do it here. That's what I mean. Yeah, you're right. The Wi-Fi, not necessarily if you're traveling or if you're within range of a decent Wi-Fi connection, you'd be able to do it theoretically. But it has to be a darn good one. That's my only concern with the Vita is like how are they going to make it work really well? Because they recommend having a wired connection just to make the PS4 work really well with it. And they have a little connection test and all that kind of stuff. So
Let's see.
We'll see.
This is my remote. I have PlayStation Now on the screen because we want to make
Trust
sure
us.
that we're
testing connection.
yeah. So I'm going to test my connection now, and we'll see
Testing connection.
what it says. Now, I mean, honestly, my internet is pretty fast compared to the rest of the country for this region, considering that they still have nobody bagging their own stuff as far as internet goes. They've got that figured out.
It's in the bag.
Your internet connection quality can support streaming games. Now,
What's it?
I get 50 download and about 30 upload.
Yep.
So, obviously. But why not do the connection? It is cool that they do the connection test. You know what kind of experience you're going to get because I mean you have to pay to rent this stuff, but the prices are
Stupid.
completely outrageous and
Yeah.
ridiculous. And you know,
Look, pull up one. Pull up.
Yeah.
Pick one. Pick a. Pick
my couch is a bit in the
game.
way. Let's see. What do we?
Do Saints Row 4.
Okay, where is that on the
Top
the way
right.
on the end.
Top right
right,
corner.
okay.
The only one visible from your point of view.
Okay, cool.
All right. Okay, so it says rent from $2.99. So that's all right. So that's clever, right? Rent from. So
Right.
it's just like you get the lowest
At
price
$2.99,
there.
sure, I'll do it.
All right, I'm interested.
Let's click that.
And then you see.
I don't know why I'm pointing. This is Bluetooth,
yeah,
but okay.
yeah.
It's for 4 hours.
So $2.99, $3 for 4 hours.
4 hours.
That's not bad.
okay.
Well, that gives you your initial taste to see if you want it or not.
All right.
Okay.
But then let's see, $5.99.
I just want you to know that that's more pricey than a hotel room. Like, you know, in hotel rooms now, they have, like, the Nintendo 64 controller, and they'll do it, like, $6.99, and you could play, like, your Nintendo
Do you know how
Nintendo
long it's
64
been
game
since I've
for,
actually
like, the
seen
whole
that
night.
in the hotel?
Do they still
Well,
have
I
it?
saw it recently, so
They-
I guess
they
my
don't have,
hotel
like-
wasn't
Did you really?
updated.
Wow.
Oh, usually they
right.
have like PS3s. and
7
stuff.
days.
Nice ones.
$6.
That's not bad. How much is a Redbox rental? nowadays.
For a game,
For a game.
I don't know for a game. Isn't it all just $1?
This was reminding me a lot of Blockbuster, because I remember that Blockbuster you could rent for 4 days
Yeah.
a video game. I think later on they extended it to 5 days, and it was
$10.
$4.
Yeah.
It was
It
$4
was
for
$10.
me.
The last times I did any form of Blockbuster,
Well, that explains them going out.
but it was like a full week. It was like $10.
Okay. All right.
So it was just.
All right.
So I guess they hiked it up. This is actually very reasonable. Did they change their prices? Because now it's...
Yeah.
They were getting a lot.
Okay, so 4 hours for
Because-
$3, 7 days for $6, 30 days for $8, and
Well, 'cause
90
I think
days
that
for
even,
15.
I think that even like the hours and days is different from when I looked at it last.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
'cause
thought it
when
was
we were
more
first-
like an hour or 2 hours, and then it went to like 6 hours. And
Well,
then it went
I
to,
wonder
like,
if
a
it's-
day.
Well, now we're on video, and I'm being shown up as a
No,
dick
but this is
because-
good. No, this is
No,
fine.
okay, so they did
That's
change
better.
it. All right.
But
It's
and
30 days for
But now the full
$7.99,
game, okay,
so-
all right, and it might be because we're seeing different prices because it says on top you could buy the full game for $19.99.
$19.99.
This is not a full
Yeah.
retail release.
So, what?
So
Or it could
No,
also
no,
be-
that. Yeah, go ahead.
I
Yeah.
was going to say it could be because as soon as they were first showing the prices, people were completely bitching and complaining about the
It was-
ridiculous.
well, yeah, and I still think it's
It was.
ridiculous
It was.
because if we look at it now and we look at it versus what the price of the game actually is, it is outrageous still because
Well,
the game is
I
only
still think
$19.99.
For 4 hours, can't you just have a free demo and then go to like you
Yes.
know, a
Yeah.
day or something?
And-
Because that's what I don't understand. Is like Saints Row 4, that's been out long enough. Isn't there like a free demo or something that you can play for?
I mean, it might,
I mean-
but that's very select and it's by the publisher. And that kind of upsets me because when we saw the whole reveal for the PlayStation 4, one of the things with Gaikai, which is obviously what's pushing PlayStation
Yeah,
now,
that's
right?
what's- Yep.
One of their things was we want you to try games before you buy them. And that was like a big... That was
Yeah.
like a big thing. We were like,
Yep.
you know, we want to make sure that you love the games before you have to buy the games.
Yeah.
And I don't see an option here to try before I even rent.
Yeah.
Nope.
I
Not
see
on
that I
these.
have to pay to try to buy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have to put down $3 for 4 hours, which really doesn't. I mean, I guess it could give you. I guess you could tell somewhat how much you will enjoy a game, but really you want to have a couple days with a game.
Well, I think what we mentioned earlier is that should be 99 cents. It should be
Yeah.
99 cents for the whatever that limited time is, whether that's an hour or
Yeah.
4 hours or whatever. It should be 99 cents.
I felt- yeah, and I
Impulse.
felt-
I'll do that. You know.
And it would be
Yeah.
even more money the way I said it, which would be 99 cents an hour.
yeah.
And that would be outrageous because then you're paying in 20 hours you're paying that $20.
Yeah.
But the fact that the messaging says it's under $1, just go ahead and try the game before you buy it. Now it doesn't. Now it doesn't hurt you so much.
Yeah.
You're trying it before you buy it. There's actually an incentive to use it.
But go ahead and pull up a different game.
Yeah.
Okay.
let's
I
pull up
really-
the
Yeah,
game.
Because it's gonna vary depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Because for me, working as a vendor, $2.99 is kind of on that cusp of like, whereas
Who's
like
Street Fighter, yeah.
from like $1 to $1.50, that even that's like an impulse, like that they say
Yeah, this one
99
has a
cents
different.
to, like,
Okay, so this
$1.50.
game is $39.99, rent from $4.99. So let's press that, and we
That's
have.
still for 4
Okay,
hours.
so for 4 hours it's $5. Now that's what I said. I was paying under that at Blockbuster to rent the game for a week.
Yeah.
So $5 for 4 hours to try Ultra Street Fighter 4. 7 days for $8. 30 days for $15. 90 days for $30. Why?
The full game's
I don't
40.
really understand.
Yeah, and the
why-
full
I don't-
game's 40.
I don't mind the hours, even the like a week or even the 30 days. Why do they
I think
even
there
put
needs-
up the 90 days when it's going to be more justifiable just to
Just
say
buy it.
$10 more, I'll buy the full game.
I think the reason would be is that you're going to rent it for 90 days. It's more than possible to beat the game in 90 days if you're focusing on that game. And if it's already digital and you feel like you're never going to play it again, save yourself $10, rent it for 90 days, beat the game, don't worry about it, and then
I don't
that's
think it'd
it.
be more economical to just go and buy it and then return it and get another game.
Right, and I think
If you're gonna
that's
have it for
I
90
think that's
days.
what they're trying to battle is the used game market with this.
And I think there needs to be something in between 4 hours and 7 days. There needs to be like a 24 hours or like a 2 days. Because like if you're like me and you're off 2 days in a row, just have something to play over the weekend.
Yeah.
Whereas 7 days you kind of feel like you're
Yeah, definitely.
more money.
Yeah, definitely let us rent for a weekend. definitely let us rent for 24 hours. There should be a 24-hour rental. There should be a 2 or 3 day option. That makes much more sense than a 90-day one, but I understand the 90-day for the people that just play a game once and throw it away. What I had talked about with you was I think that it would be far more beneficial, though publishers would hate it, to have a subscription service. Have a thing where, it is video games, so it's not going to be cheap like Netflix.
Yeah.
Have current games too. Oh, yeah, we need a counter there. All right.
I don't know what you're talking
a longer
about.
show than usual. But, yeah, so if they have a subscription service, even if it's $20 a month or $25 a month, I think that they'll definitely pull a lot more people who aren't collectors like me that need to have that disc on their shelf.
Yeah.
That'll be like, oh, I can play any game I want, whenever I want.
Yep.
And I just need to pay $25 a month, and I'm good to go. That'll eliminate people who use GameFly, and it'll actually solve the GameFly problem, because I had GameFly, and I realized I can only rent old games because everybody's renting the new games first before me.
Right.
And then I end up having to wait so long, I might as well have just bought the game.
Yep.
I think like $25 a month even for subscription service is an option. That would be it. But $30 for 90 days for one game makes no sense.
No, unless it is a new game. Like I was just thinking, it's just like how many people would jump on like a $10 difference between the retail copy and a digital rental for something when the new Madden comes out. You know what I mean? It's like if you could just like for $49.99 you get a 90-day rental for the new Madden, just like or new Call of Duty or something like that. How many people would jump on that so that they could? They'd just be able to play with their friends for that, because these are seasonal. Right.
Yeah.
So there's a limit to the amount of time that you're going to spend with those
I'd
games.
say it has to be more than $10.
I think that some people will rent it. I don't think the majority will, of course. And the other thing is those who are in the used game market, the people who are buying new games and then selling them used. Yeah. They're not going to do that. So this will not.
But you don't get any money back for the sports games.
Right. I mean, the sports games you do. It depends on when you sell it.
Yeah.
Right.
You could play a sports game for 8 months and then sell it and still get enough to rent it for 90 days. So
I don't know.
Because see, I've always I had a couple friends that worked at a couple, and they said as soon as you walk out the store with a like Madden or what have you, it almost loses over half its value.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I've done it. I've purchased sports games and been unhappy with them. Madden being the most common, and I would buy the game, play it, maybe for about a week or two, realize that, hey, I'm just never going to touch this again, and then put it on eBay and get pretty much
different.
50.
But that's different. That's eBay.
Oh, you're talking about trade-in. Well, everybody's a sucker at trade-in. Do not trade in your games to GameStop. Take that profit for yourself. You bought the game, you spent your money. Take that game and sell it directly to somebody who wants it. They save money, you save money. That's how it should be done.
I'm just saying, though, most people are probably going to do that, and that's what I was saying. Like, whenever you buy a game from GameStop or wherever, and you go to an actual store to trade it back in, you lose well over half.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely.
other games will at least retain their value for a while, depending on the game. Sports games, under half immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that's what I mean. It's so for something like that, I think that could be a very attractive option. But I don't think EA will do it. And they're the biggest sports game.
Because they'll want to control it themselves. They're going to, you have to use Origin.
Yep.
Fuck Origin.
Well, EA's poised to do
Well
it.
said.
With their access program, right? I mean, the games that the previous Madden you can get as part of EA Access on Xbox One, right? Not the new one, but you do get some sort of a discount for pre-ordering or buying the new one if you have EA Access. They did the same thing with Battlefield, but I think there's value in that, having that ability for the new games. But I think they're still looking at what Sony's doing here. I think they're very interested to see what happens with Square and their streaming service to see.
What is that one called? Dive In?
The Shinra.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Right. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. You
What was
couldn't get
Dive In? Damn you, Rufus. No, I think Dive In is a rental service. I think Shinra is supposed to be something else.
Shinra's a streaming service.
Yeah,
That's the
Shinra's
one
a
where-
streaming service.
That's the one where they were going to build the supercomputer where
Right.
everything's hosted in-house, and then you kind of just have a unit. That
Right.
This was the new platform. And
Okay, this
everything.
was but that's I think their streaming service is called Dive-In. That is the one where you're renting, which is basically like PlayStation Now, but it's Square Enix, where you're renting from their service and they're going to be streaming you the games. Shinra Technologies is a new platform
Okay.
where they're streaming you games to play, but these are new development concepts. Like Ubisoft is part of that, is going to create content for that. Like this is like, it's basically like, we had a show about One Console Future, what that might be like, and
Yeah.
this is basically where Square is trying to take it, calling it Shinra Technologies. And what they want to do is they have the hardware on their end,
Yeah.
and it's as powerful as like a supercomputer that they could keep adding it onto it and upgrading it and creating experiences that would not be possible on a console or even on a home PC because they just can't reach, unless you have a crazy amount of money, you just can't reach that kind of fidelity. And that's basically what they're looking to do, and stream that to you. Now, of course, I don't think the internet is ready for anything like. I mean, here in this area, we have really fast internet. Like I said, I have 80 down. I mean, it's supposed to be 50 down, but I get 80. So I get 80 down and 30 up. And anybody who hears that right now is probably going to be like, "Whoa, that's really fast."
Unless you're in
Well, then-
Austin.
well,
But that's the slowest speed I can get.
yeah.
Well, then you look also at like EPB, what
Right.
they're doing.
And they're 100 down, 100 up.
And they're trying their best to push everyone out. I mean, hell, Comcast, if they do leave because of this stupid buyout, which they've already said, if they get this buyout, they're out of the Chattanooga area. They're selling all of it over to everything's being pushed on to Charter. And Charter does not have the muscle to deal with EPB.
No.
EPB will move into the North Georgia area and expand beyond that, which I hope, because
I
they are
hope
true fiber
so.
optics and they are doing what they should
Yeah.
be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charter is struggling. They're trying to. Yeah, Charter's in west of Chattanooga as well, and they're really trying to beef up their service because they know
They know
the
it's coming,
competition's
but it's not going to work because
No.
I mean, there's already the following for EPB, and the second they get the access to North Georgia, it's
Yeah.
over,
right.
Oh, yeah.
and they know it.
I
That's
think
the
I'm
sad
anywhere near here. I mean, even with what I've got, even though it's just as fast, I'm out. I'm on EPB. I love those guys. I love those guys.
As soon as I was wanting when we lived in Fort O, I wanted them, but they didn't
Yeah.
get to. They weren't
Yeah.
allowed to push because of Charter and Comcast.
Yeah, when I was first shopping for a house, it's funny because, my wife had like the normal thing. Like I want enough space, I want all the rooms, if we have a baby, I want there to be enough room for that. And, the layout's important to me. And I'm like, if it doesn't have fiber and it doesn't have EPB, we're not buying the house. And I told that to the realtor. I was like, that is like, internet to me is like a utility. It's like, it's necessary like water and sanitation.
Yep.
I need my internet. I'm a gamer and I'm addicted, and that's what I need. Yeah,
Yep.
that's right. And then I was really excited when I started to compromise the internet thing because I was like, okay, I realize I'm not being normal.
Right.
And then we actually ended up buying this house, and then I looked up what internet services I can get, and it took a lot of digging. By the way, their advertising really sucks. It took a lot of digging to even find out that there was fiber here, and that I could get it through Ringo Telephone Company. So
They actually
it was
were really good, and
they are good.
We had them back when I lived at my parents' house years ago, and they were really good, and they had the satellite TV and everything. But they ended up getting bought out. Certain sections got bought out by Charter that dealt with that. So we still had the internet through them, but we had everything else through someone else. But that was years ago, like I said, though. And God, I do wish they were in Lafayette. God.
So back to PlayStation now. There are, sometimes, and we all do this, sometimes I'll complain about something because I just don't know enough about it. I think that I know everything about it. and then I go to it and I'm like, in the end, it's not that bad. And I go, oh shit, I was such a dick before. I am not being a dick now. And this is the confirmation that I'm not being a dick, is because they gave me access to the beta. I never even used the key. Oh, I saw what the prices were, and I was like, I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to pay to try out your service, so I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. Then it came out on PS3, and I got invited again,
Yeah.
right? It was PS4 first, then PS3?
No, well,
Is
no,
that how it
they
worked?
had a closed beta on the PS3 first because I did that and it was free to try
Okay.
everything out. Then.
Right, and that was the one I didn't get. Okay.
Right.
Right. And then, did you even rent anything at that time?
Yeah, no, I tried a few games. I tried like Xenoclash 2, which didn't work very well, and I actually Puppeteer worked pretty well
Okay.
on that platform. So
cool.
yeah, I mean,
Go Puppeteer.
Yeah, little platformer.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that right now we're at the heat of the holidays, right? All of these crazy, like Alien Isolation came out today. And it was a must-buy for me at the time until I saw the reviews. But, Drive Club is out today. There's a whole bunch of games that are just today. And I know that this whole holiday is like so many games, there's no way I could pay for all of them.
Right.
So I decided to just throw my hands up and be like, I'm not buying any of them until I see all the reviews come out, and then I'll decide. And then, I'm not going to let them play tug of war with my money. I'm
That's
just gonna
rude.
wait.
Yeah.
This would be the time that if there was a streaming service and it had current titles, I would jump to PlayStation Now. I didn't even look.
Yeah.
It hasn't even enticed me at all. There is no reason for me to ever rent whatsoever. Even if they had current games, new releases right now, I still wouldn't rent it because I would feel like it's throwing away a significant amount of money on something that I'll either like and end up buying anyway, or something I won't and then be pissed that I paid $5 for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So
it's just, but it's just that the price is too high.
Yeah, way too high.
Right. Well, so with PlayStation Now, we have some of what this does, right, with the ability to try out games, because they have that 60 hour.
Free trial.
Yeah, that where it's a full game, it's a free trial. It's on a demo. PlayStation Plus has it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's part of the incentives, right?
But that's not all of the games.
No, it's not all of the games, but a lot of the games.
Select games that they're confident about.
I don't know what criteria they put out there for it. I'm just saying is that they do have that sort of capability for the newer games. But what I'm getting to is just what part does PlayStation Plus play with PlayStation Now that it hasn't yet? It's how do they make these services into one sort of value proposition? Because I think that's the way to go. Because especially in the gaming community, I mean, PlayStation Plus is. It's a good deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's what prompted
Crazy
Microsoft to bring in this Games with Gold and to boost their service
had to do it.
after years of just gouging people and making them pay twice for their subscription services and everything. And then we get PlayStation Plus, and it's just no. Well, we'll wait till PS4 and then for multiplayer. But for now, here you go, and you just get games for being a part of our service. And that's fantastic, that's great. And then Microsoft picked that up. But I kind of feel like if they want this to be successful, they have to tie those in and integrate them somehow. And I don't know if that's if you have PlayStation Plus, you get that lower tier for free.
Okay.
If you have PlayStation Plus, then you get whatever the lowest tier is, 4 hours, 1 hour, whatever.
And
no
at that
cost.
point, I would be content if the lowest tier was 1 hour,
Yeah.
99 cents, and they gave you that for free with every game.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
totally
that would be, and so I'm just waiting when that, I wonder when that shoe's going to drop. Because, I mean, technically this is still in beta, right? Is this still, or is it out of beta? I don't know, is it still?
Well, I don't think this is beta because it doesn't have any beta messaging anywhere.
I thought it did.
Does it?
On the title.
Or at least last time I checked.
Yeah, there's no beta tag where it says PlayStation Now.
Yeah, go back. I thought, when we went to,
The
download
initial,
it said, try the beta. So I don't know.
I don't see any beta messaging.
the one out all the way.
They usually, Sony is really good about.
Oh,
branding
open
everything.
beta. Yeah, that's what
open
we're talking
beta.
about.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it says
So-
open beta.
All right. Wow, they're usually much better about putting beta all over the freaking place.
Yeah. So I guess
But-
this
okay.
is, but this is more like Gmail, right? It's going to be
Yeah.
a beta forever.
Yeah.
Or Siri, beta forever.
Siri's
Anyway,
last name is Beta.
Siri beta.
Siri beta.
She's a beta unit. What's a beta unit? Anyway, sorry. No, that's a different show.
So PlayStation Now is only older games.
Right now, yeah, it's only PS3 games too, which is somewhat because I'm like, what? Where is our PS2 catalog?
Oh yeah.
Where?
People would jump on that
It's like you've already patented that bullshit. I mean, come on, just release it. There was reports years ago about how they've patented a way to software emulate PS2 games on PS3. Just like, okay, do it. Just get it out there because there are those titles on PS2.
It doesn't even really need emulation anyway, right? Because they're streaming it. Technically, they just have to
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just like they don't even necessarily need to take that step, but but that means that whatever hardware that they're using to render these streams to deliver it, so they can use the same hardware to just render PS2 streams.
Yeah.
So awesome. And they can already do the PS1 on the same sort of hardware. We know that. You can put a PS1 disc in a PS3 and it runs. So why don't we have the PS1 classics available for rental? Why don't we have PS2 games available for rental? Just forget about the new games for a moment. Where are all of the old games? It's just like, let's put them on there. But that's because there was a interview that the CEO of Gaikai did, a COO, and was talking about. I mean, there is a conversion process that has to take place.
Right.
And sometimes the code for these games is not as easily accessible as you might think it would be to make that conversion happen.
It is a mishmash of code. I mean, like every game is developed differently.
Yeah. It depends on what middleware.
Especially when it comes down to the
programming,
fact of like, is it patent or copyright? Like you can't use somebody else's code. So even if you're making something similar, you almost kind of have to go out of your way to be different.
Unless it's licensed,
right?
And then the licensing may have expired, or may have only been for the purposes of XYZ. We see that a lot with like video game music, especially when a game is re-released,
or if you're using a third-party engine, which they provide their own support, and then they could assist you with making something similar to something else, which I think is going on right now with Unreal Engine 4 and Kingdom Hearts 3. I just reported that today.
Yeah,
something about them changing over their engine to Unreal Engine 4, but Unreal is helping them with support in order to transfer it over from Luminous, or at least it's suspected that it was Luminous, and then transferred over to Unreal.
Gotcha.
I'm kind of curious if there's an infrastructure issue with Sony and PlayStation Network overall, because we all watch Beyond. We all listen to Beyond. We all listen to Beyond. And we hear them have their little campaign for...
Come on, Shuhei.
Let us change our
PSN IDs.
So that seems like a very minor thing that seems to be a very big issue for them to not be able to do.
Correct.
Okay. And we know that they're interested in it because their
like
surveys include it. They're like, well, how far do you want us to put this as a priority?
Yeah.
And it's always going to be at top. So, we want to change our PlayStation Network IDs. The PlayStation 4, once you reach a certain amount of friends, starts to go all wonky and crazy. Doesn't load fast. I've actually had situations, and I don't have a very large friend list because I don't like to play online with a lot of different people, just people I know. So my friend list is pretty short, and even I have some of those loading issues, and I'm just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Then we have Gaikai that said we're going to let you try games, before you buy them. Then PlayStation Now and how slowly it's being launched, and just a lot of things that just don't seem compatible with each other. It's like, is there something going on with the PlayStation Network that you guys kind of really need to build? And maybe that's why they invested. Gaikai was like what was the number? Was it $268 million or $300 and something million just to acquire that?
There was several hundred. It was several hundred million, I want to say, or a few hundred. But I don't know that. I mean, there's definitely something inherently obsolete about the PlayStation Network. It's just like it just reeks of we have to put something together, and now once we did that, it's almost as if they put the whole thing together with Sony memory sticks. So it's all proprietary. They can't find any replacements. They can't move it over to something more modern, and they're just stuck until they redo the whole freaking thing. And they can't now because PS4 has been so successful and is tied into it. So it's just like crazy that the PS3 can't see when a PS4 friend is online.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just can't. But I don't know that is directly to your points about Gaikai. It's been in beta. So it's slow rollout because it's been public, because it's just been, hey, try out our service. Try out our crappy prices. We're going to adjust these prices. But they haven't. They've been open about here's the beta. They haven't been open about here's what we're doing about your feedback. Like they haven't come out and said, well, based on what everybody's saying, we've gone in and
Jack Buser.
What?
I blame Jack Buser.
Why?
Because this is how he ran PlayStation Home.
Here we go again. Which actually was apparently profitable, and I was surprised.
Of course it was profitable. They didn't have to do anything. They charged for every time somebody came. If you went into the Guitar Hero space, the developer of Guitar Hero paid Sony for you downloading the space.
Nice.
They created the space. They paid to create the space.
Yep.
They brought in the assets to PlayStation Home to have that space.
Yeah.
Their money comes in virtual items, but they pay
Right.
Sony for every single time you come in and have to download the space. So it was basically like, if you create the space and it's so and so big and this many visitors come in, you're losing money. You need to sell enough virtual content as a publisher in order to make that money. So, of course, what is known in people who use PlayStation Home is that EA left. Mm-hmm. They had this great EA Sports complex. It was there to advertise all their games. They had banners and pictures of all their games. People loved playing poker there. They had like a whole bunch of tables set up where everybody could just like gamble with virtual money and play poker, and it was so much fun. And then EA left. Mm-hmm. And it was like, well, yeah, that was the most popular space in PlayStation Home. Everybody was going there. I'm sure it cost them a fortune to just run it. And then other people started to surface with complaints. But the thing that I was talking about with Jack Buser and PlayStation Home was I forgot his name. When it was first presented in 2007 at E3, that guy who ran Atari, Phil Harrison? Is that right? Phil Harris? I don't remember the name. Anyway, he had talked up PlayStation Home. It was great. It was an exclusive social network, which felt great because, you know, we're all of a sudden going online, and what are we doing? It wasn't standard before that. We got to remember that. Like PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, that's when online really became standard. Yep. So this was a great social network idea of virtual, you know, like a virtual space where you could meet other people, make real friendships, and then take them online. It gets delayed a full year, and then when it comes out, all that content that you saw in the reveal in 2007 wasn't there. Yeah. There was literally like 2 free shirts, 2 free pairs of pants. And then you could go and you could buy a shirt and a pair of pants. And then, hey, cousin, let's go bowling. Yeah. Everybody wants to go bowling because that's the only thing you could do. But everybody's there, so you can't bowl unless you were the first 9 people to arrive, you know, in that instance. So, like, it didn't work. And then, of course, the forums exploded on PlayStation where they said, hey, what's going on with PlayStation Home? What can we expect? Nothing. Yeah. They said there's going to be a trophy room. PlayStation Home is shutting down in March. It never happened. No explanation. And this was just like, Jack Buser was the director of all of that. And there was no messaging coming down. The only time we heard from Jack Buser was at E3 in a booth that was never aired because PlayStation Home became the joke of video games. Where, you know, the only time you would hear Jack Buser talk, it was to talk about that PlayStation Home was a successful platform. Right. And why. And how much money they make from it. Yeah. And it's like, that's great, but I'm not an investor, I'm a gamer. Right. I want to know what's going on. And then when I heard that Jack Buser was moved from PlayStation Home to PlayStation Now, that gave us 2 bits of news. One was, PlayStation Home is probably shutting down. And 2, PlayStation Now messaging is going to suck. Yeah, and it has. I mean, you have to basically rely on Shuhei and some of those other guys to just talk about, it is a beta, and we are working on it. Yeah, exactly. You know, where's Jack Buser and all this? I mean, this is the time where you should be the most communicative. Yeah. You know, we got the CEO Gaikai out there instead of the Sony guy running the service. So awesome job, dude. Well, but that so I think that's part of the problem. I think it is the sort of the marketing, but at the same time they can hide behind the whole beta moniker, right? It's just, well, it's a beta. We're still figuring it out. We're still working it out. Like PlayStation Home. Like right. Perpetual beta until it was shut down. So but there is a lot of potential there, right? Where we could have this vast backlog of games, and we wouldn't have to worry about, you know, how much space is on a hard drive, how much space is on the memory card. Definitely the future. Yeah. It's definitely the future of gaming. Yeah. Well, part of the future. Yeah. Definitely part of it. Like what we talked about before with Shinra and this and EA Access, we're already seeing like the beginnings of what the Netflix and the Hulu Plus were. So, yeah, I definitely see the future. Yeah. It's, you know, but it's difficult to predict because we don't know how much farther, you know, I think at this point we'll probably get another console. And it will probably be, you know, 10 times more powerful than the PS4 and the Xbox One. I'm sure. In 5 years. Sure. And that's, you know, and I definitely think the console life cycle is. I think we'll have a 4K,
like gaming
Yeah.
console.
Easily,
Yeah.
because you
I
got
wouldn't-
PCs that are pushing out 4K right now.
I think
so.
we'll get that to your point about the internet speeds, like the speeds that are needed, unless we get, Silicon Valley-esque compression algorithms. I don't know that we're going to get the bandwidth across the board for that high resolution gaming before we can get it in a box.
Yeah, and we're also talking about, we're from North America. We're in the U.S.
Yeah.
Internet speeds already just in our country vary greatly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we're not even thinking about, like, other countries.
Yeah.
Other markets where these consoles are available and the internet is
Yeah.
not that fast
Yeah.
at all.
Or in some places much faster.
I remember designing, I didn't design it, but I had a band and we wanted to have a website designed for us and we wanted to have we had a really great guy who was a friend and he was like, I could do all this crazy Flash stuff for you and everything.
Oh,
I had like
God.
our album art like splitting apart and doing all this great stuff. And I was like, dude, that is awesome. And then we did it and we actually we were using MySpace bots. We were assholes. We were using MySpace bots to try and garner some popularity, and it actually worked. We got like 10,000 fans in the UK before MySpace blocked our page, and it was all for nothing. But most of those people, about 8,400 of them, were from the UK out of the 10,000 friends that we made on MySpace, and those 8,400 all came and were like, "Hey, we went to your website. We can't see anything." Because our internet's not that fast. Can you take off that flashy stuff, mate? Yeah. So we took off all that flashy stuff until it got to the point where it was just like click, and then something loads with just like text. And if there's a song, sorry for the delay. It'll take a little while for it to stream to you. But I don't know if we're gonna switch into like streaming services anytime soon. All of these game makers are going to have to be prepared to lose a lot of markets, I think.
Yeah.
It'll take time.
Yeah, and I think because even just from my PS4 to the Vita, I still have problems with just the quality of the service.
Yeah.
From just a wireless connection, and sometimes it's so. I'm wondering. Like it's definitely very promising.
By the way, quick question: is Vita G wireless?
No,
is that why its range is such crap?
No, it's N.
Is it?
Yeah, it's N, but it's only 2.4 gigahertz N. It's actually the same frequency as G, so it has roughly the same range, if not a little better. The problem is that it will that wireless. The farther away you are, the slower it gets. And then, of course, if you have any other devices that are already slower on your network, then all your devices will run at that same speed that are connecting to that network. That's why you have these dual band routers, one that has like a different frequency, or you have like a guest network that you shuffle off all of your guests onto, and then you leave the rest of your bandwidth for you. But the problem with the higher band or the higher frequency is that you get less range. Higher speeds, less range. So the 5 gigahertz band is going to be faster, but it doesn't extend as far, just because of physics, because of the frequency of the waves. If it's a higher frequency,
the international
the shorter
symbol
waves,
for physics.
The shorter waves. And so if you have a longer wave, it can go farther.
Yeah.
You can pass through more materials with
audio,
shorter waves. Yeah, because physics.
Yeah, because
That's the way it works. That's the way it works. So, but even with that, it's just, and then sometimes there's lag and there's latency and there's things of that nature. For some games, still, it works okay, where latency is not that big a deal. But for something like Street Fighter, that's important.
That is important.
Yeah.
Because you play Street Fighter semi-competitively, right?
Yeah, well, I did for a while. I was ranked for a bit. I never got high, but online, it was a big difference. Because if you're, especially with 3, because 3 has the parry system. Mm-hmm. I can't even tell you how many times you'd be in a ranked match or even just a lobby, and if they're neck and neck connection with you, it's flawless. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. But if there's just barely in yellow ping most of the time, you'll get a combo off, and then they parried all of it. And it's like, you're freaking kidding me. And it's because of that much of a delay. They have that much of a just the ease to be able to parry it.
Yeah, any
Or
games that
block
require
or
any
whatever.
kind of precision for timing,
Yeah.
fighting games. The wrestling game has that too for reversals.
Right.
First-person shooters.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't run. I don't want to run a strike in Destiny on the Vita. I just won't. I'll do patrol and stuff like that. But if it's,
I might. I mean, it's better than not playing video games in bed.
true.
So when I go to bed, I'll probably take the Vita with me. But
I mean, there's that. But
I was actually thinking of when PlayStation Now would come in handy for me is if I'm taking a flight, because I took a flight and I was really bored. And now they have these outlets now in some planes. And I was like, wow, it took you this long to figure out that people actually need to plug things into a wall. Just give us outlets at every seat. And they did it, and it was cool. And I plugged in my Vita, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And then I see that Wi-Fi thing, and I'm like, oh shit, that's awesome. I can play my Vita. I turn on my Vita. And I try to go online, and I just thought it would be cool to just use the Wi-Fi. I'm looking at all the things and how to order the Go thing from Delta or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, let me look at this. How do I do it? And they make it really hard to find out. By the way, you have to flip through their big freaking magazine and
yeah.
Anyway, so I'm
Again.
trying to figure it out and sign in, and I'm like, this would be so cool. I'm going to be able to message my friends and be like, haha, I'm not even on the ground. And no, you can't do it because they don't allow any streaming on a plane because it probably kills their bandwidth or whatever they have, and they're like, no, you can't watch movies and you can't, stream video games. Well, but I mean, you saw how long it took them to get outlets.
Yeah.
So, not yet, but I'll be dead by the time they allow us to stream anything on a
I don't
plane.
know, the progress of technology.
I don't know. You might live to be 80. But,
Well, you'll probably actually the outlets will probably be more short-lived because you'll probably have wireless charging before we get faster bandwidth.
Whatever happened with that? I heard it years ago that RCA was working on technology where Wi-Fi can charge your devices.
Oh, heck, Tesla was working on wireless charging of devices. But
well, RCA at one point.
No, I know. No, I mean Tesla, Nikola Tesla.
Oh,
from the 1800s, Tesla was working on it.
I don't know why. I just immediately thought motors.
Yeah. Anyway, they're still working on it. There's still a lot of different universities that are playing around with that in labs, and there are a lot of RCA is still working on it. They're working on, and there are wireless charging technologies. A lot of them are very short range. You have those special what's the word I'm looking for? You have those battery packs now that you can put in, and it will conductive charging and stuff like that. Yeah. Where there's no exposed leads or anything. You just put it on there and it's able to charge it. Those have been out for a little while, but we'll see some other where you can use certain frequencies. Of course, you run into the whole FCC and what frequencies are allotted for what purpose, and are there any harmful side effects for long-term exposure to certain radio frequencies and waves and all that kind of stuff, and those are all considerations that have to be weighed before any new wireless technology can really take off.
Well, if it's cancerous, it doesn't matter because it's convenient, and that is the American way.
That's pretty much it.
So, if it's convenient, your health doesn't matter. As long
Charging
as
phone by itself becomes super mutant. I don't think I'll go with that, actually.
a super mutant that doesn't need recharging.
Super mutant with no testicles because you got cancer. And then that's the other shoe. Anyway, but so that's the thing, is there's a lot of potential still, and I'm still interested in it. I don't want them to stop,
right?
But it's not there yet. I think we can all pretty much agree, right? It's not there yet.
No. And it's really all about the pricing.
Yeah. It really is.
It really is
and
all
the
about
selection.
the pricing.
And I'd like PS2 games.
Yeah.
I would like.
Exactly.
It's really all I would
Do you
like.
hear that, Shuhei?
I would have liked it on the PS3, and it's not that hard to make them backwards compatible.
No, and I think they lost a lot of money not
They
having
lost
any
a
way.
lot of money if they would have made all the PS3s backwards compatible.
Yeah.
They would have sold the PS3 a lot more than they did.
Or just make digital, because they have done that. They have released some of the PS2 games digitally, right, that you can go and download.
And there was an update utility to where you could play it on certain I think it was the Metal Gear Solid one that they released, the MGS4 bundle that they released. There were certain ones that could download it
Oh.
and play it, but it was only specific models.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's the one where they started to try to drop the price. So in 2008, there was an interview with Jack Tretton.
Yeah.
This is leading to that. There was an interview with Jack Tretton where he revealed that there was an issue with how they developed the PlayStation 3, and that issue was that they went by their old philosophy, was build this exotic hardware and then throw it at engineers on their laps and say, okay, here. Yeah, do what you can with this.
Make it good.
Yes, make it good. This is all state-of-the-art hardware. This is a box. This is all the components. Make it work.
Do good things.
And the thing, yeah, exactly. And the thing is that the philosophy was supposed to change at that point because they were going online and making that standard. So now engineers have to be able to update this hardware also by making firmware updates and making it evolve. Well, as we saw with those updates, PlayStation 3 had a lot of issues evolving. Like the Xbox 360 was getting its updates and it was getting a lot of things for meaningful use. It was actually evolving, while the PlayStation would evolve very slightly in between major version numbers. So they would have, like it came out, you would consider that like firmware 1.01 or whatever, and it got all of these little updates of like meaningless crap until it got to 2.0.
Right.
Then it was like, oh crap, look at that list.
Yep.
And then it got to 3.0, and they even like rebranded themselves completely. It was like they changed the labels and everything, and like that was PlayStation. But that was so far into its life cycle, it made no freaking sense. It was like, well, why didn't you evolve much faster? This is all stuff that we could have had, otherwise, or on the Xbox 360. We're kind of seeing a little bit of that now, because the Xbox One is doing monthly updates and giving meaningful use, and they're evolving really fast. PlayStation's not doing that. And I'm not saying that PlayStation should adopt that philosophy, but what I'm saying is the PlayStation 3 really knocked a lot of crap off, because the PlayStation 3 was also exotic, so they couldn't do backwards compatibility anymore if they wanted to drop the price, because technically the only way they could have backwards compatibility was to have the Emotion engine physically inside that box. Once they started to reduce the size of that box and reduce the price of the PlayStation 3, it was like, okay, well, how can we software emulate like the PlayStation 2 games? But the infrastructures are so different. Well, it's not going to be that easy.
Yeah.
So backwards compatibility was lost. Everybody hated that, including myself. Sold all my PlayStation 2 games because I didn't have a PS2 anymore and whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm PS3 only, whatever. I don't care about backwards compatibility. But now it's affecting this generation too, because we go to PlayStation 4. PlayStation 3 is this exotic piece of hardware that is not easy to emulate, especially without a cell processor, and all the sub-processors. So now we're on the PlayStation 4. We can't get backwards compatibility. So we have PlayStation Now?
Yeah.
Okay. It costs a lot of money. What happened to the branding? Like the way Sony really messaged itself and broke out for the PlayStation 2. They broke out in PlayStation 1. They really showed that they could hold their own. They were supposed to be working with Nintendo to make that disc drive to compete with Sega CD at the time. They broke out. They were single. They did great. They kicked Nintendo's ass, as far as I'm concerned, at that era. And then PlayStation 2 comes, and that was their branding. It was like, you could play PlayStation 2 games that are coming out, and every PlayStation 1 game you own.
Yeah.
It was like, and this is our library, and you can continue to buy those games. And like, we're launching with a 1,000-game library. Bullshit. Everybody wanted a PlayStation 2 game, not a PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah.
But still, that message was there. It was like, you're investing in a console now. You're not losing anything. You're only gaining. Then we get to PlayStation 3, and we had backwards compatibility. You're only gaining, but damn, it's $600.
Yeah.
And then it drops, and then it drops, and then you lose backwards compatibility. So just when it becomes affordable, you lose that gain. And everybody goes crazy on eBay trying to buy these systems for anywhere from $800 to $1,500 to keep the backwards compatibility. And that's still going on. And then now we're at PlayStation 4. Everybody's buying it, no backwards compatibility because of that. So my thing is like, how venomous for the PlayStation Network was that PlayStation 3 launch, and do they need to fix that? Like, for me, when they announced PlayStation Now originally as the Gaikai service, I didn't even think of a rental streaming service. I said, ooh, this is a permanent solution to backwards compatibility.
Right.
That they heard the fans Fans were pissed off that backwards compatibility was gone. They needed that messaging back to say, hey, you have this full library when you buy a game. When you buy a console, it's just something to gain. And so now we have this, and it doesn't matter what kind of hardware we use. We could stream you anything that's old.
Right.
So now any system that you buy, even a PlayStation 7 down the line, we're going to be able to give you PlayStation 6 games. Mm-hmm. And that didn't happen. Not only did it not happen, they overpriced the rentals. And that try before you buy didn't happen either.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't mean that it won't.
Right.
And we don't know that the try before you buy, because they are bringing, because Gaikai is behind that whole get in with your friend that's coming with firmware too. So it's their work that's going into where a friend can invite you in to play their game and you can play co-op so that you can finally go through NAC. Because nobody will come over and play, so you can finally beat NAC.
I can do it myself.
Right?
It's fun with a friend.
No, exactly. But you finally have that flexibility, and if you have a co-op game or there's a particularly tough part, and every other buzz phrase that they used when they were advertising that, that is part of that streaming capability that it goes into this. So we are getting that. There's a lot of features though that they talked about that we haven't gotten yet.
Right.
We're not quite a year into the life cycle of the system. Not everything that they talked about, they were just like, oh yeah, at launch you'll be able to do that. They're just like, this is what we want. This is our vision of what the system's going to be. Now, does that give them license to delay like they did with Home? Well, no. I mean, if you look at the amount of money that they're making, I guess they're kind of just like, we can do whatever we want. But, I don't think, especially if, with how aggressive Microsoft is being with the Xbox One, because they know they're behind. Because the last generation was a bit of a... Sony came out, was late to the party, right? They were late to the party. They didn't have any way of capturing the same market as like the Wii, which launched basically simultaneously with the PlayStation. They couldn't capture the Xbox market because they priced themselves out of that as well. And then they fought back by not doing a whole heck of a lot, right? They just sort of existed and limped along until they could get the price down, and they made some software enhancements, and they finally caught up and surpassed in worldwide sales. You're like, hooray, Sony. With the PS4, they don't have to do that, so we have to have that competition, right, to push that along. With PlayStation Now, I can't... we didn't know what the pricing was going to be when they announced it, right? When they bought Gaikai, it was just like, okay, streaming service, awesome. What's the service part going to be? Like, how are they going to monetize this? How are they going to make money off of it so that it's worth doing? So we don't know. We had things like GameTap and OnLive that had done the streaming services. That OnLive's still sort of kicking. They're in a slightly different form now. Where are we going to go from here?
I think only a subscription model will really work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if it's for the sake of bringing backwards compatibility, I think that works.
Yeah.
I think that kind of messaging works. It was it's like, hey, we can't make the system totally backwards compatible because it'll make the system cost more. And you like that $400 price point, right? But if you do have an old catalog of games and you want to play them unlimited, play them as much as you want, games even you didn't own. Go take your PS3 games, sell them all, because now you can play any PlayStation 3 game you want, just pay $25 a month. I would be happy to pay $25 a month to have access to that entire PlayStation Now library.
Right.
And if you want, make like a bundle deal where I get PlayStation Plus and like 3 months of free PlayStation Now to hook me or something.
Yeah.
Or even like give a little discount if you're getting both. But whatever it is, I think they could potentially make a lot more money with a subscription service that entices their entire audience, as opposed to the service as it is now, which just isn't a value.
Yeah.
No.
There's just no value to it. There's nothing that says, "Oh my God, that's a great PlayStation Now." Oh my God, that's a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I don't even. And when I got my Vita, that's what really pushed me on it, and pushed a bunch of my friends too, because I bought a Vita, and all of my friends were like, "Oh, you're such a sucker. Why would you buy a Vita?" And I love the system. I love the system. I don't travel as much. I'm always driving, so I can't play my Vita while I'm driving. I can, but I won't live long. But
well, maybe you get a self-driving car, and then you'll be able to.
Yeah.
Get a Google car.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm not getting in that little smiley face ever. But I bought my Vita, and my friends made fun of me for it until I came home and I signed up for PlayStation Plus. An instant game collection meant I got 18 freaking games. And it was like all the Vita games that I got were all the Vita games that I wanted to buy. Like, I mean, I ended up not liking it, but Gravity Rush, it was Little Big Planet. Everything I wanted was there. And at the time it was PSP 2, I think. They had some PSP games.
They were.
They had PSP, Vita, and PlayStation 3. So I just got like 18 games. All of them like games that I wanted, cents for maybe one. I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah.
But when I said that on Facebook, and I was like, whoa, I just signed up for PlayStation Plus and I got 18 free games. It was like, what? How'd you do that? And I was like, I just signed up, and it said instant game collection. I saw this whole list of games. Hold on, I'll write them down for you. And I wrote down this whole list of games. And the next thing I know, like a whole bunch of my friends are like, yo, dude, I just signed up. That's awesome. And they're like, oh my God, I don't have a Vita, but damn, I still got like a dozen free games. I was like, yeah, this is great. And then every month, like, we get all of these, and they're not crap games. We get really good games, and we take it for granted now. But it used to be 4 games, and now we had like an additional device come out, and now it's 6, and it's like, wow, this is really awesome. So, I mean, that in itself, like when you say PlayStation Plus is an awesome deal, and you have other people saying, like, even in the industry saying, well, we don't even know how they pull this off.
Yeah.
Why can't we have that same messaging for PlayStation now?
Yeah.
And be like, dude, this is a great deal. You know, you could just get rid of all your PlayStation 3 games, save that space, play any PlayStation 3 game you want, just pay $25 a month.
Well, but see, that's the thing. It's like there still
I'm
isn't
doing it.
there still isn't any messaging. It's just it's like a self-evident deal. It's like you hear it from other people. Hey, this is a great thing. It's just like I don't see any advertising for PlayStation Plus. And as far as the transparency, we still don't know everything that goes behind the scenes. Like we still don't know like how it works. We don't know. We have no idea. But it works for PlayStation Plus because it is such a great deal. It's self-evident. Now it's not. Now it's not evident that this is
No, not at all.
Yeah,
it's the opposite of a great deal.
No, but I don't know if I would go that far because there is some value in some of the titles.
Please tell me where you see value. Let's turn this on again.
I mean, like the 7-day rental, I think is pretty reasonable.
The 7-day,
depending on what the cost of the game is, because obviously it scales with the cost of the game.
All right, so
which is interesting because
Alien Spidey rent from $199. The game can be bought for $9.99.
And the 7-day rental is
$3.99.
Yeah, 30 days, $6, 90 days, $8. So it looks like it's a percentage of whatever the total price is what they're.
So they have like an algorithm
now.
there, I guess.
Yeah, and that seems like something that they're just testing.
Yeah,
hence the beta name. So yeah, the cheaper the game, I think the more sense that it makes.
So let's go back to Street Fighter. Rent from $5, but it's $5 for 4 hours. Yeah. I don't see the deal here, man.
No,
it's a $40 game.
Well, but for $8 for 7 days, that doesn't sound too bad.
It does to me.
If I'm not 100% that I'm going to buy the game, I might try it for a week. That gives me 2 weekends, basically that I can. And if I'm not taking up any space on my hard drive. If I don't play it, I don't play it. But the other part about these rental periods is I think it's to generate this sort of monthly fee MMO. I got to play it. I got to go. I got to log in, and because my time's running out. I only have so much time to do this, so I jumped in, and I think it's making people take that initial leap is where your marketing push has to be there. And right now, it's not the focus. It's just like, well, we're going to roll it out on all these devices. We're going to roll it out on our TVs. We're going to roll it out on these phones. And we're going to show that we can do it. And then that's when we're going to make it awesome.
Okay, so we are very deep in our show because we didn't start the counter until well into it. So I'm assuming that we're probably at around the 1 hour mark.
I don't know.
And you would think that I would say, hey, let's go around the table.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm going to say something else.
Something else.
Something else. No. Okay, so besides, we were talking about PlayStation Now, and that's predominantly, what our conversation is supposed to be about. But on the same day that PlayStation Now is going to come out as a beta on the Vita, we have PlayStation TV coming out.
Yes.
And I think that also has horrible messaging because even the media outlets, including those guys at Beyond, who I love, but they're assholes for not even talking about this, and Giant Bombcast, streaming. Nobody's talking about that. And that's like, to me, the biggest part of PlayStation TV is that you don't need more than one PlayStation 4 in your house.
No, they have talked about it. So you're gonna have
not
to
as in
retract.
depth. Like they talk about, they don't talk about it as in depth as like that is the big feature.
Colin said, Colin on one of the like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, was just like Colin was talking about how it'll be great. I don't have to lug the machine around anymore.
Yes, he did mention it in passing 2 weeks ago.
That's what he's excited
about. I was like,
about.
oh, thank God, And yeah, Colin is the one that I was excited. But last week, their last episode, and I'm not even really talking about them. It was more Giant Bombcast.
Oh, okay.
The last one that I heard, and I'm kind of like backlogged on all these podcasts or whatever. But
because you called Beyond assholes, I just want.
Well,
I'm not talking about it. It's like the number one PlayStation podcast. Oh, you guys are assholes, sons of.
No. So. They're assholes. We're assholes. Everybody's assholes. Anyway,
Everybody's assholes.
everybody's an asshole.
I'm a dude. He's a dude. She's a dude. We're all dudes. Hey.
Asshole is a term of endearment from this mouth, just so you know.
But anyway, the point is talking up that streaming specifically.
It's
for
like
your PS4.
they're talking about PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
A lot of the media is talking about PlayStation Now being available on PlayStation TV. Great. The Vita games and the large library that you're going to have access to if you combine PlayStation Now and the Vita library. Great. Who cares? To me, the biggest thing about that is that more important than the fact that you own a singular PlayStation 4, and now if you pay $99 and get yourself a PlayStation Plus, you have a PlayStation 4 in every room you're willing to invest $99 in. Technically, if you, instead of buying another PlayStation 4 for one other room, you could buy 4 PlayStation TVs and have it in 4 rooms. Like to me, that is freaking awesome value. Like I know that right now in my bedroom and in my living room there is no PlayStation 4. I have this man cave, and one of the things about my man cave was, okay, I'm going to have my own TV and all my video game systems are going to be there. And then I go into the living room and I'm with my wife. And she makes me watch Orange is the New Black. It's a good show, but whatever, I'm not in the mood for the drama. Whatever, and she falls asleep.
Not in the mood for the lesbians, really?
No. Well, no, I am in the mood for the lesbian scenes.
Isn't Kate Mulgre's in that too, right?
I don't know actresses' names, man.
No, Janeway from Voyager.
Yes.
That's 2 Voyager references.
And you know
shows
what?
in a row.
She is such a freaking good actress that I didn't even remember that she was Janeway until you mentioned it.
Well, there you go. Now you have to point it out, because I'm surprised that you two haven't talked about it since you've been watching that show.
No,
One
that's
was
pretty
that?
awesome. She's the Red. She plays Red.
Oh, I like her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I watched
Damn,
her for
she's
Hot
awesome,
Donna.
man. I love that woman.
No, she's good.
She's really good. Everything about her is good. I even see like interviews with her, and she's just like an amazing person.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, sorry.
where was I?
I don't
You
know.
were sitting in there watching.
PlayStation.
Yeah. So
PlayStation
she has
TV.
this
Trying to keep
habit.
your wife away from your PlayStation, and apparently it was killing you.
She has this habit of. It is killing me because she wants to watch Orange is the New Black, and that's cool. And I sit down, and I'm the good husband. We watch that. I know we watch it, and then she falls asleep on my lap.
Yeah?
And I was like, well, what do I do now?
Sounds terrible.
Well, what do I do now? Like, okay, well, typically what I would do is, thank God for Bluetooth technology, I grab the nearest PlayStation controller, I press the PlayStation button, I don't disturb her, she doesn't disturb me, and I start playing the game, and I switch the channel, and occasionally she'll wake up, she goes, no, I was watching that. I'm like, bullshit, you were sleeping. Yeah. But whatever. I get to play a game. Well, now I'm in the living room, but all of my fun stuff is in the man cave.
Right.
Well, what do I do now?
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there. Watching Orange is the New Black.
Right.
Watching lesbians fuck. What am I going to do now?
This sounds so awful.
This really does sound like a terrible
You're
problem
watching-
you're describing here.
You're lying in your lap watching lesbians on the TV.
You're
It
really
sounds
making the
awful.
case for PlayStation TV. Let me tell you. This
All I
sounds
know
great.
is that now I can get my PlayStation TV on the same day that PlayStation Now comes to Vita, which Doesn't interest me. But that
Yeah.
PlayStation TV coming out October 14th,
Yeah.
I can take that thing, connect it into my living room TV now, have it stream Destiny from my basement.
Yeah.
And have
Yeah.
this great freaking experience in the living room, and I didn't have to convince my wife to buy another PlayStation 4 so she could watch more lesbian action.
We just bought 2 PlayStation 4.
Exactly.
Well, that's 'cause y'all
That
playing
is
Destiny.
8 PlayStation TVs.
It's not for what they do.
We
and
don't
that's
even
the
have that many
thing.
rooms in
Yeah.
our house.
We both play at the same time. We're
Right.
different, and then not only that, we also use it as a DVD player.
Yeah.
or what have
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We do the same.
Now,
Yeah.
here's a question. I'm guessing it's going to also do kind of like what the Vita has to do with. I know it's using the actual hardware itself, but then you're also streaming it to another device. Does that mean you're going to have to go through the Wi-Fi and also deal with the lag and stuff like that?
There is a wired connection.
Right. You have, all right, yeah, so there is a wired connection. Did you confirm that?
Confirmed.
Okay. So there is a wired connection for it. And of course, I'm sure you guys are playing PlayStation 4 wired.
Well, the
Except
one
for
in the
him.
living room, but the one that's in the bedrooms, actually, I am on the Wi-Fi, and it actually does very well, to be honest.
Well, as long as that's well, it does well. I mean, I don't have any problems with streaming to my Vita in my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So, except for the occasional hiccup, which is understandable. I don't really have an issue. But yeah, if you have another Vita, either wirelessly or wired, you can connect it, and then you're streaming from that PlayStation 4. So that PlayStation 4 is in use. It's not like you could be on the PlayStation TV and the PlayStation 4
Right.
playing different
Yeah.
games. But, you can, if you have Destiny, the disc, inside your PlayStation 4 ready, and you're
Disc?
in a different room.
Oh, there's discs for Destiny?
Yeah.
Oh, I
No, I was
download
just-
it.
yeah. Well, that's how
I'm
I
not a digital guy.
That's because
Yeah.
so I can play on PS3 and PS4. Like I was playing with you guys on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had to hop off to take care of a 2-year-old crisis. Just give a bubble bath, and then when I came back, I was just like, my brother was on a PS3, and I was able to play with him PS3, same character. So just like I love that, like that type of thing.
That is
was
awesome.
That was
That is awesome.
fantastic. So just like, oh, sorry. Anyway, I didn't mean to derail. Disc. That's all. Okay.
Yeah, I was just curious. I was just curious, based off of like a bigger house or something like that, like what you have here. If say you had multiple rooms, and based off of it's streaming it wirelessly to another room, are you going to have to deal with the whole how far the signal's going to have
Yes.
to go and all that?
If it's about that, then you have to deal with how far the wireless signal can go before you start having issues. But since it's wired, just wire it, and then you don't have
Yeah.
that issue at all.
Right.
Because now it's part of the same network.
And that's
so.
the enticing part.
So okay, like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm guessing you're saying you're wired the actual PlayStation now, like what you're going to have in your TV.
Mhm.
Is going to be wired into, I'm guessing, just a normal Ethernet port, or is
Yep.
it or is it got to be wired all the way down to your closest router or something of that sort?
I'll defer to you.
Wait. So ask the question one more time, because
You said
even
it's wired, right?
yes, it is wired.
What is it?
Or
hooking up
wireless.
It hooks into your router.
to?
Yeah.
So, like, if you have we'll say, this is a 2-story house.
Yes.
If you have a router upstairs and a router downstairs,
Yeah.
you just have to wire it to the closest router.
Yeah, to the close. So, well, assuming that both routers are on the same network, because you can technically, as long as it all shows up as one network and all your devices can be seen across, then you just hook it into the nearest jack, and then
Okay,
Bob's your uncle.
that was what my curiosity was, because if you're going wirelessly based off of the network that you have set up, that's what I was really worried about.
Yeah.
And especially if you have a larger
can.
house and multiple units going off of it, plus also like phones and computers and whatever. Something else.
you can do wireless. It does have Wi-Fi built in. I'm afraid it's probably this. I haven't seen a spec sheet for the wireless, but I think it's the same chip set
I'm sure
that's
it's
in the
the same as
Vita,
Yeah.
which is totally unfortunate. Actually, since Nintendo is taking the risk on this new 3DS and beefing up the internals, I'm hoping we might get one more revision out of the Vita before Sony cans it, but I don't think we will. I think they're going to go in a different direction and like make just focus on phones and not do another portable. But if they do one more, if they put in a dual band wireless
I
chip,
think-
that would be fantastic.
And
for
this,
streaming.
we should do this for another topic, the whole portable market.
Yeah.
Because I almost feel like sometimes I look at these businesses
Mhm.
and I go, why don't you get it?
Mhm.
Why? What is it that you don't understand about your business that gamers get? Because sometimes gamers get it.
Mhm.
Like I look at the Vita and I'm like, it's supposed to be a portable device, but it's not very portable. I mean, compared to a 3DS that flips, the games on it are not really why, we don't want the state of the art thing with touch. Like, why didn't you grab it at first? Like, put it in your hands and say, this touchpad is cool, but it's kind of in my way. And if I try to get out of the way, it kind of cramps up my thumbs. And everybody wants 2 analog sticks, so we know we got that right. But, man, I feel like I'm going to get arthritis on this right analog stick. Maybe I should move it. Like, why doesn't this happen? Like, before it's released. Like, why don't they say, hey, are people really going to take this really big machine? Like, my phablet is smaller. And every time I whip it out of my pocket, people are like, dude, that is the biggest freaking phone. The biggest freaking phone I've ever seen. And my Vita's bigger than that. So when I whip it out, I'm...
How much bigger is it? How much bigger is it? Let's see. It's definitely thicker. Right?
Definitely, yeah.
Because I will just say, I love my 2DS.
As a matter of
It's not
fact,
like it can
I have
ever
a
stick it
great...
in my pocket, but if it's pretty good in my purse or in like a big coat pocket or something.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's do this.
And as far as arthritis goes, it's very well made.
I think... Sorry.
Same size.
It's the same size.
Now, that is a phablet.
Yeah. Ow.
It's not really the same size. It's definitely larger and thicker. But
By a very minute amount.
Yeah.
There's not much difference.
listen, in your
All
pocket,
things considered, yeah.
No.
every bit
yeah.
counts. Now, I feel they got it right with the PSP Go. We're going really deep
That's
into
poor
this,
thing.
but this is
Oh,
actually like a
that's
planned
great
other
thing.
topic.
Wait,
But
I think that's the first time in internet history that anybody said, I think they got it right with the PSP Go.
no, okay, the PSP in itself, I don't think they got right. But when they changed the design and they made something that was portable, that was really portable,
No, it is a good design.
they got this right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels
was ahead of its time.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, because it slides, I have all this room for the action buttons, for the analog. I never feel cramped. I can reach the shoulder buttons under here.
Yep.
It's totally, here, feel this. It's totally comfortable. It's really, really comfortable.
Yeah.
I play this, and, like, I already have to, you could see my fingers. I have to keep my fingers here. Otherwise, they're touching the touchpad.
Yeah.
So that I could be ready with these. But now
Yep.
look at my thumb.
Yeah.
Now it's like this joint is over the analog.
Yep.
So I have to do that. And now that extreme bend,
Ugh, you can see it. And
yeah, you see
Yeah.
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
That hurts. That hurts, especially if
Have
you're
you
playing
ever played-
FIFA 14.
Have you ever played with the 2DS?
No.
Next time we do the show, I'll bring my 2DS because
Please do.
it is very nice. Like a lot of Jason was kind of worried about it because it looks it looks funny because it has such a drastic slant like up height. I was like, how am I going to hold this? Like, how's this going to work?
And it
I was
doesn't
like,
flip, right?
it
It's
works
like
so
one
well.
big.
No, it's just one.
It's
big,
one. It's
it-
not a
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
one big thing, but yeah, I mean, same thing like with Bravely Default, where you can like pretty much play it with one hand. It just made it even better.
I was ready to buy a 2DS.
Yeah.
Because of its price point.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
Yeah.
I totally
Yeah, that
want.
too.
I totally want to get into the whole DS market. I don't have
And I
200
was
and
not
change.
thrilled with the 3D at all. I figured I'd turn it off every
Yeah.
time anyways.
Yeah.
But I love the flip design of the 3DS, which is why I wanted that
It
instead.
makes it a lot more portable compared to a 2DS.
Right. But then the price point is too high, so I ended up not getting either.
Yeah.
And that's where I was lost. And I feel like that's where the Vita lands, is like, this is really the 2DS at a high price point.
Yeah.
It's not portable, and it's really
Yeah.
expensive. And,
Yeah.
you know, I love the machine. I'm
yeah.
glad that I got it. I'm not upset that I got it. And I'm having, like, it's really introducing me to a whole new world of games, really.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't, like, an indie guy at all.
Right.
And then I play this game, and oh my god, Velocity 2X? Is that the name of the game?
That's the new. Yeah, that was just the
Oh
last
my
one of the last
God.
months. Free, released, and it was free if you
Yes.
had PlayStation Plus.
I know. Off topic. I know an indie game.
That
you need
game,
to play.
when I describe it to somebody, and it's funny because, again, we're talking about Beyond again. Colin Moriarty used the same word, ridiculously good.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense. It makes it ridiculous that it's that good.
Yeah.
Because you just play it and everything feels so freaking right, and it's so much fun, and it just keeps changing up things, and you think you got the game figured out, and then it completely changes things on you, and everything is smooth and perfect. And my whole trip that I was going to, when I went to Vegas and came back for that family emergency,
Yeah.
that whole trip that I went back, I killed the battery on this. playing Velocity 2X. I was just so excited. I love it.
I know a game. If you're getting into indie games, I've only gotten to luckily play this for a little bit of time, but I had a friend that got sucked into it. He played the hell out of this game, and he loved it. But he's a platformer.
Wait, which game was it?
Super Meat Boy.
Oh, yes. Yes.
One of the most difficult games you'll probably ever play in your life.
Yeah.
But it's addictive and fun.
Well, if it's addictive, that's great. Usually, you know, a lot of gamers complain that they don't like the whole hand-holding in games, but for me, I don't like a game that's too difficult. Because I'm at the point where my game collection has gotten so broad, and I'm trying to play more than one game at once.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, I don't want to have to be stuck on one game just to maintain my skill level
I think
so that I can progress.
It depends on the game for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind the difficulty, but if they ramp it up is the big thing. I'm not a big fan of the hand-holding, especially since a lot of games do it throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
But like it makes me remember of like Ninja Gaiden, one of my favorite NES games of all time. It starts off somewhat difficult, and then it gets retarded difficult, and then of course you get to the last level, and then that's when it just smashes you into the ground multiple times. Maybe if you can get that far, because I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Oh, you're at the last boss. You have 3 forms of hot. You die once, you're straight at the beginning of the level. Fuck.
Yeah, why? Wow.
But that's the way they did the ramp up more. To where you'll play it more, be able to be investing more time into it. The rest of the game is not
I don't have that much time for you. You to force me to spend more time.
But
on
you can beat the game
things.
in 30 minutes. Is the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Castlevania too, the original Castlevania.
I didn't like.
Bigger deal
I
back in
didn't
the
like
day.
Demon Souls for. Wow, we are going into so many. We should write these down. Like these are all round table topics, right?
Yep.
Demon Souls is just soul crushing.
Demon Souls got me on its messaging, its hook.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for good messaging.
Yep.
And part of its messaging was that it was supposed to be brutal, and it challenged you to beat it. And that kind of that sparked up the competitive part of me, and I was like, well, I'm going to buy that game, and I'm going to beat it. And of course, everybody on the internet beat it way before I even tried. But, I got into it, and I'm sorry, I didn't get into it. I played the game, I tried it. It was really difficult to get it, because it had limited quantity. I finally get the game, and there's really nothing even special about this game except for the fact that it's difficult. And then I kind of felt like it was going out of its way to be difficult. But the one satisfying thing about it, one thing I love about that type of game design is that once you defeat an enemy, you know how to defeat that enemy every time. Like learning how to ride a bike. So by the time you get to the end of the level that you died at every single confrontation on the way, now if you replay that level, you breeze right through it. You beat everybody all in one shot. And that felt satisfying. So I almost felt like I was playing Demon Souls for the privilege of being able to fly through the game eventually, where you go through all this hardship for every single level, and then finally you get to see what the game is really like when you restart it, and you're like, okay, well now I can kick everybody's ass. That's it.
Well, also the accomplishment of saying that you were able to do it.
Yeah.
And push yourself through it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm past the point of bragging rights, I guess. I just don't care about being able to say I beat that game.
Okay.
Not necessarily that. I'm just saying being able to say that you've gone through it yourself. No, I'm not saying going out, I'll beat the game. I'm saying actually feeling a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Especially in this day and age when you got certain games that they say they focus on story or focus on this, and it really feels like you're just kind of playing a movie in a way.
I like that though. I like being immersed.
It depends. It depends on the level.
I mean, it of course depends on the game. Don't give me a Rogue Legacy that tries to be a movie, because that's just ridiculous, Or a Shovel Knight that gives me lengthy cutscene.
Oh yeah,
that's not going to work. But I mean, if it's a high fidelity game and it's a game that
like Metal Gear.
Yeah, if it's a game that really is
That's
high
just a
fidelity,
movie.
trying to be state of the art,
An ending that's
I'm
3
fine with
hours
it.
long.
Oh, dude, I
Here's
love
a cutscene.
that.
Credits. Another cutscene. Credits. Another cutscene.
We'll go around the table, but I did want to say that Metal Gear Solid 4, as long as its cutscenes were, because I played all the games in chronological order leading to that game and then played it, it was brilliant. And I don't think he could have made any of the cutscenes any shorter, because every single one had like even a little sentence of fan service, like mentioning Dr. Petrovich in a single sentence on a single little helicopter scene for 10 seconds out of a cutscene that was really like 30 minutes long, you know, but that fan service was there, and it really sealed like every hole, and I've never seen that done in a game or even in Hollywood, really. They're usually not that good at sealing holes that well. No. That was kind of ridiculous.
Does anybody else on the internet know that? Because from what I've read about the Metal Gear Solid story is not very... I mean, it's not easy to follow, and it doesn't wrap up everything nicely. And
it's far-fetched at times. Hideo Kojima is a really weird guy.
Weird guy, yeah. Okay.
He's a really weird guy.
That must be where it comes from, then.
Yeah, they started to touch on, like, incest... based themes and like in Metal Gear Solid 2 talking it got weird.
Got weird.
It got really
All right, cool. All right.
And I that was a complaint, so I think Konami probably like pushed him a little back. It was like, hey, you know, chill out with Metal Gear Solid 3. And I heard that actually he got rejected in Metal Gear Solid 3 that the boss, who's called the boss, the boss was actually supposed to be topless. And was supposed to have a snake head by her nipple or something, or some crazy thing. And then they're like, yeah, that's too far. And so he made it so that you could at least see the scar and see it move at some point. But yeah, he's a weirdo. But he did make sense of it all.
Gotcha.
At the end.
Okay.
So at least that much.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Round the table.
All right. What are we going around? What?
So trying to think of what a
What are
really
we
good
going around
closing
the table?
question will be.
Good closing question is: you gonna be on Destiny tonight?
Yeah, Alex wants to play Destiny. As he told me today.
How about a really good question is when we
PlayStation Now.
When we gonna do the Vault Glass?
No, when we're going to go to City Cafe.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
There you go.
Shit, we got to do that real soon. Okay. All
I
right.
want cake.
Cake is a lie.
Not at City Cafe.
It is very much
City
serious.
Cafe.
Let's make this final question a prediction from each individual. PlayStation Now.
Ooh.
Do you think it will succeed or fail?
Ooh. I guess it depends on the metrics of success. It could succeed in the way that Home did.
You kind of stole my answer.
I'm sorry. No,
What he said.
That's a tough one. I think that it will be profitable. I don't know that it will become a successful brand. I have a feeling that there's a rebrand that will take place at some point, and it may be subsumed into PlayStation Plus, or it'll be called something, you know, like PlayStation Bundle of Awesome. I don't know, but
Happy Fun Time.
Yeah,
PlayStation Happy Fun Time.
Yeah, exactly. PlayStation Please to Enjoy. But I do think that that it will not be successful until they move beyond the rentals of PlayStation 3 games. Okay. And now, what form it takes, you know, if that's just a backlog thing, if that's subscription service, if that's new games, I don't know. The picture is hazy. Ask again later. But I do think that once they move beyond this sort of beta implementation and get out of this rental of PS3, then it's got a better chance. In its current form, no.
Jason, what do you think?
I agree. I don't think right now, I mean, of course, yeah, it's in beta, but I think they're going to have to implement some probably changes. I think even once it comes out of beta, if they leave it at where it's at, I don't think it'll succeed. I think they will probably have to implement something to where it goes kind of through like PlayStation Plus. Like if you're a member, like if you're not a member, you have these rates. If you're a PlayStation Plus member, either discount each version of it, or also like what we were talking about earlier, where the initial one is free. That gives a lot of incentive. And honestly, how many people are on PlayStation that have PlayStation Plus? I mean, causes that much more succeeding. Because okay, I have access to this. It's free. Awesome. I'm going to use it now.
Yeah.
But I don't think as it sits, it's not going to succeed. Period. Even the price, even if they change it, they'll have to do drastic price changes. Because me personally, even 4 hours, I'm turned off by that.
Yeah.
Even looking back at the old like Blockbuster days. Nowadays, I guess maybe I'm a little bit more frugal. but I don't see that's worth it at all. And of course, it's going to have better access to the different games also.
Right.
But I don't see it succeeding right now in its current setup.
What do you think?
I kind of got to say the same thing. Not in its current
Yeah.
state as it is now with the, just flipping through the games. There's nothing that I really would even want to rent, even if it was at 99 cents, for 4 hours. So
I might check out Ascension for 99 cents. I never did get around to God of War. Anyway, sorry.
Well, I guess it's unanimous that all of us feel that if nothing changes and this is what PlayStation Now is, it's not going to succeed. But I mean, I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm sure they're going to make changes and that they're listening to feedback. And even if it's a permanent beta tag, it doesn't mean that they're listening to feedback and that they're willing to make changes. I think they will. I'm not confident in Jack Buser. I don't hate the guy. I'm sorry if I sound like a prick for constantly saying Jack Buser and blah 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 blah, hatred, whatever. But it's not that I hate the guy. It's that I just don't. I haven't seen enough of him doing anything to forward anything as a director for PlayStation Home and as a PlayStation Home fan for what it was supposed to be and not what it became. I am a little bit bitter at Jack Buser being in charge of PlayStation Now. I won't lie, but
we didn't notice.
Yeah. I'm not a Jack Buser fan. I love Jack Trenton though. That's my Jack.
Yeah.
That's my Jack.
Yeah.
But
You don't know Jack.
You don't know Jack.
I don't know either Jack. But what I also agree in the fact that they need to find a way to incentivize PlayStation Now, if that's a word. And I also agree that their library needs to expand. One of the incentives I thought of when you said that maybe they would need to change their name or rebrand it at some point is maybe make it part of PlayStation Plus. Maybe it shouldn't be PlayStation Now. Maybe it should stand alone as PlayStation Now, but maybe it can become something like PlayStation Plus Premium.
Yeah.
Where you have the
tier.
$50 model that gets you online gaming and gets you those free games. But if you pay $75 for the year instead of $50, you're now a PlayStation Plus Premium member, and you have unlimited access to our old library of games. And go ahead and play and have fun, and you can play any of our old games. And then I would say, if anything, that pricing structure can even be for the PlayStation Premium and regular PlayStation Plus members, where they would have PlayStation Now for all the new games. And then it becomes worth it to spend $8 to play a game that just came out for 7 days. In fact, I would pay $10 just to be able to say, hey, I got a whole week to play with this game. And that will also create incentives for developers and publishers to say, hey, there's all these streaming rental services now. We better make sure that we have a game that provides more than a week of content to ensure people are buying our games and not renting them.
Yeah.
What if, in thinking about this, okay, right now it's like 90 days for $10 less than the game.
Yeah.
What if they eventually took what you take, say you rent the game where you pay however much money for however many days, and you decide that you want to buy it, they take that amount that you paid and would take it off of how much you have to purchase for the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Upgrade.
And that will eliminate. Well, eliminate is a very bad word because it won't.
Yeah.
But that will be the attack on the used game market that they want to make.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you can rent it, try it, you like it, we'll reduce the amount that you paid to rent for it, and the rest of the money will go towards the purchase.
Even if
and
it's
because
not the difference, even if it's just like a 40% discount.
Yeah,
Or just
and
any
because
kind
it's
of
digital, and we don't have to mass-produce discs or sell you anything or deal with distributors, we'll pass that savings on to you, and you save $10 off of every game. And bam, the used game market is,
I know for PlayStation Plus, I always look for like the little yellow tags on everything.
Oh, yeah.
If you
Yeah.
don't have a yellow tag of a discounter, I won't even bother to look at it.
Right.
I think that's why this
It's the first
looks
place I
so
go is
off-putting is because I
PlayStation
have
Plus.
no little gold discount
Oh,
things
yeah.
to even look at.
Speaking of which, I just realized that today is October 7th. Sorry, you guys are probably watching it on October 8th. Drive Club is out.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Just kind of offhand. So
Maybe we should go and check out PlayStation Plus, and we'll do a little Let's Play.
for the Drive Club, because we get the free version, right?
Yeah.
For the
I'm sure that
see
there's a
how it is.
local race that we could do.
You say that.
Let's see what else they do.
So on that note,
Okay. All right. Well, we're off to play. Catch you guys later. Thanks for joining us.
put a bow on it.
Moles.